Okay, so now we want to get to the home inspection. There are usually lots of questions about the home inspection, so let's dig into that. So your offer was accepted. Now we need to make sure that the home is stable and good condition for you moving forward. So what will happen is your agent will recommend a number of home inspectors. You'll choose one, and then that certified home inspector is going to come and examine your home. You and your agent will be with them the entire time. They'll identify any issues, they'll bring them to your attention, and then they'll prepare an inspection report. So the inspection report is going to have complete details of things that need improvement on the home. And often a good inspector is going to produce a report that makes it feel like the sky is falling. Keep in mind, during the inspection, they'll talk you through everything during the inspection. But then sometimes the report makes the same things they talked about seem a lot more serious. So for example, they might say at the inspection that the HVAC system really needs to be serviced. And then the report, it will be highlighted as red and called deficient. So they need to make sure that they're covering themselves legally. So never be afraid to pick up the phone and contact them with any questions like, this seemed okay, and then it comes up as deficient on the report. Your agent can do the same for you. So it's going to seem like there are a lot of issues, and a lot of times there are a lot of small things. Even in brand new homes, there are a bunch of things that need little work and tweaks. There's always little things that need to be done. So don't get scared by small things. You're looking for big issues that could cost you like thousands of dollars in the future. Little things that only take like a drive down to Home Depot and cost $30 to fix, I would say aren't things worth like killing a deal over. The things worth killing a deal over are huge problems that you might not have the money or capacity for right now. So in states like Massachusetts, they use a purchase and sale agreement. You'll have time between the offer and the purchase and sale agreement, this due diligence period, to request any repairs that you decide you want to come up. The seller can agree or not agree to those repairs. If they agree to the repairs, you'll have an opportunity to check on them prior to closing, and then finally at your final walkthrough to make sure that they have been fixed to the agreed upon expectations. Once everything is complete upon those expectations, the inspection contingency is lifted. Okay? If they don't agree to the repairs, you can walk out of the deal and you're entitled to your deposit back, but not after the purchase and sale. And this varies from state to state, so make sure that you check with your agent or your attorney. So the inspection is a big moment because it's a point at which buyers can back out. Buyers can request repairs, or you can actually request concessions to pay for the repairs and negotiate that way. The point in the inspection is not to point out things that are obvious to the eye prior to the offer. That's a really important point. So your inspector might say, oh, this roof is 25 years old, and you can see that. And it might need to be replaced in the next 5 years or so. That's obvious when you look at a house that has a 25-year-old roof. They don't last 100 years. So you can't then ask for the roof to be repaired as part of your negotiations, or ask for $50,000 closing credit for the roof to be repaired, because that's something that has been disclosed and you can see before you offer. Another example might be you see a home that has a 20-year-old furnace or HVAC system. If you're looking at an older house, that can be the case. You then can't ask, in order for this to go through, the furnace needs to be replaced. You can't ask for that if you've seen it before you offer. So that's a really big point. This is a point in the process when deals can kind of die based on what you see in the inspection, but it has to be reasonable. Your agent will work really, really, really hard to negotiate the inspection flags on your behalf, but they should also be transparent with you about repairs that you're asking for that might not be reasonable, that could have an impact on your deal. So keep that in mind. It has to be stuff that maybe they find mold in a section that you can't see before you make the offer. That is something legit. But if you have seen an old furnace that has a little corrosion, that's not something you can ask for. That's not really, you could ask for it, but it's not necessarily reasonable. And the seller will likely say, you saw that when you came to the house before you offered. So keep all of that in mind with the inspection. Again, you're going to get a lot of things usually that come up that you might feel are way too many things to fix, but that happens in every single home. The other thing to keep in mind is most inspectors are generalists. I like to say it's like going to a primary care doctor versus a heart surgeon. So your inspector might say, this HVAC system looks like it needs to be serviced, but they're likely not going to be able to tell you all the specifics because they're more of a primary care doctor and not the heart specialist, more of a general contractor and not like the HVAC specialist. So keep that in mind. They are to be trusted and will give you general information, but you can ask them if they give negative information about a specific information on the house, like, oh, are you an HVAC contractor? And they'll be honest with you. The whole idea is to just give you a general picture of tweaks and maybe some red flags, and in some cases, very serious things that would need to be addressed before you move forward. And again, all of those things can be negotiated, and sometimes you have to meet in the middle. So just keep that in mind. It all comes down to how much do you really want this house, and is the risk worth the reward?